This story is about Maksim Gelman, who killed 4 people during a 28-hour killing spree from February 11th to 12th, 2011 in New York City, New York. If you like stories about people who suck, then like and subscribe. Maksim Gelman was born on May 31st, 1987 in Ukraine. Gelman's father immigrated from Ukraine to the United States in 1994. Maksim and his mother, Svetlana, joined him 2 years later, and they all moved to New York. After Maksim's father gained U.S. citizenship, he returned to Ukraine and was killed under mysterious circumstances. Maksim and his mother remained in the U.S. His mother remarried to a man named Alexander Kuznetsov. Maksim became a U.S. citizen in 2005. It is unclear if Gelman graduated from high school. While he was in school, he was known as a skater boy. He was unpopular and did not have friends or girlfriends. He had paranoid and antisocial tendencies. He was arrested many times, mostly for graffiti. Fellow graffiti artists called him an unwanted troublemaker. He became a drug dealer who sold cocaine, prescription pills, and PCP. He had been arrested many times for possession of cocaine and for graffiti vandalism. On February 11th, 2011, in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, New York, Gelman woke up his mother at 5 a.m. because he needed to know where his passport was. In one of his paranoid delusions, he believed that DEA agents were after him, and he planned on fleeing to the Dominican Republic. His mother thought that Gelman was drunk and started arguing with him. Eventually, the argument moved to the kitchen where they argued about Gelman wanting to borrow his stepfather's car. The argument woke up his stepfather, who walked into the kitchen swearing at Gelman in Russian. Gelman grabbed a kitchen knife and started stabbing his stepfather repeatedly. The knife eventually broke, so Gelman grabbed a carving fork and kept stabbing his stepfather. Gelman stabbed his stepfather a total of 55 times. His mother was not physically hurt. Gelman stole his stepfather's car and fled the scene. He drove recklessly through the streets and ran over a crossing guard, breaking her leg, but she survived. Gelman knew that he would eventually be caught and sent to prison for murdering his stepfather. He decided to spend what little time he had left killing the people who he thought had wronged him. He went to the house of a woman named Yelena Bolchenko to kill her. However, she was not at home, but her mother was, so Gelman killed her mother, Anna, at about 10:30 a.m. He spent the next several hours waiting for Yelena. Yelena had been staying at a friend's house. Once she returned home, she found her mother dead and called 911. Gelman approached her, but she ran away from him. Gelman caught up with her and stabbed her 11 times, killing her, then drove away. He crashed into another car belonging to Arthur DiCrescento. Gelman stabbed DiCrescento 3 times and stole his car. DiCrescento survived. Gelman later ran over a 62-year-old pedestrian named Stephen Tannenbaum, who died of his injuries. Gelman abandoned DiCrescento's car just before 1 a.m. and hailed a cab. He stabbed the cab driver, Fitz Fullerton, but Fullerton survived. Later on, the police arrested Fullerton for an unpaid parking ticket instead of helping him. Gelman then approached another car with a couple inside and stabbed the driver, Sheldon Pottinger, multiple times in the hand. He then stole Pottinger's car and drove. Pottinger survived. Gelman got on a train at 34th Street, Penn Station, just after 8 a.m. Gelman knocked on the train conductor's booth and identified himself as a police officer, but the conductor did not let him in. There were 2 police officers in the booth who told Gelman to back up, but did nothing else. Gelman then attacked a passenger named Joseph Lozito. Lozito fought back and eventually took Gelman down to the ground. The officers came afterwards and arrested Gelman. Lozito later found out the police knew Gelman was dangerous, but did nothing to help Lozito when he was being stabbed because they were scared that Gelman had a gun. The police officers only acted to help once Gelman was already on the ground and the threat had been neutralized. Officers Terrence Howard and Tamara Taylor hid in the motorman's cab like cowards, while Lozito was getting deeply slashed around the head and neck by Gelman. They did not come out until he had disarmed Gelman and pinned him on the ground. Lozito later tried to sue the police for failing to intervene earlier. However, attorneys for the city of New York argued that police had no duty to protect Lozito or any other civilian from Gelman. Judge Margaret Chan dismissed Lozito's suit, stating that while Lozito's account of the attack rang true and appeared highly credible, Chan agreed that police had no special duty to protect Lozito. On February 13, 2011, Gelman was arraigned in a Brooklyn courtroom on charges of murder and assault. Gelman showed no remorse and said that he had been set up. Although no motive for the murders has been confirmed, it has been speculated that Gelman was triggered because Yelena Bolchenko scorned his advances. On November 30th, 2011, Gelman pled guilty to all charges. On January 18th, 2012, Gelman appeared in court for his sentencing. Gelman was unruly, laughing or yelling at the judge. He yelled at the family and friends of some of his victims. At the end of the trial, the judge called Gelman a violent sociopath and sentenced him to 200 years in prison. That's the end of the video. If you like the video, then like and subscribe. It only takes 2 seconds and would really help me out. Feel free to check out the other videos on my channel.